This is part 3 of this video sequence that I'll be discussing. The video will be more focused on explaining the web services as far as a proxy server. And there's a lot of information out there about what a proxy server function does. I'm not going to go that into details here, but if you want me to create a separate video, I can go into details on how some of it works. So, with that, what I'll be talking about is a software called Wingate. Wingate has a proxy server features. We're going to go through the installation, configure it, and maybe set up some user accounts. What I have here is going back to my VirtualBox Windows 10 Pro clone, and I have gone to the website here, Wingate. Right now is on version 9. You can download it. There is a user license for up to 10 users, which is free to use for up to 10 users. And you can go and find and click on there and find out more. So you just go to wingate.com and go to download, and you can download it there. So what I have already done is already downloaded it, and let me close some of this windows here so there don't be much distractions. See what we got there. I think that's fine. Let's close these. Let's close that. At least I have this one up and running. Yeah. We're gonna need that. So. Yeah, we're gonna need those. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into my C drive here, and then we're gonna go to the downloads, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the installation process. I'll pause it until I get to the very end of the installation, so I don't bore you guys with that because my voice is already monotone. And I'll bring you guys right back after the install is complete. Well, I'm bringing you back because there's some configurations that's happening that I forgot to mention that will happen here. So this software will install, and we're going to use a default installation. The selected packages, which is fine. We want to run it as a service, the management tool, and then the drivers. And then there's these email address. So again, in here we're going to use webmaster at my virtual.serve.http.com. And for Wingate, we're going to just do the same thing. Hit next. Hit next. And it's going through the installation process. I'll pause it now and bring you back. All right. Back. So after the installation, it required me to restart Windows. So end up restarting that. Once restarted, what you can do is you can go in here, go and click on Wingate Engine Monitor. What happens, you also have this little icon here, and do Wingate Management. That should pop up a window to ask for additional configurations. So in here, what we can do is we can go and do the Wingate purchase licenses. Online. It says here activate a free license. And hit finish, and it says Windows must restart because the license has changed. Yes. And then restart it. And it says the user database provides enables authentications and uses group management with blah 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 blah. So we get to set up our first user. We're going to use Windows Wingate's internal user database engine, and then administrator, and it has to restart again. And once it restarts, let's hit administrator. All right, so now that all that is done, let's clear some of these warning signs. There is a notification that requires your attention. Go to notifications. Alright, so they say there's some new updates. We'll take care of those later. So, email, let's see what we got for email. Yep. Webmasters. Send notifications of that. Alright, so one of the things that we want to make sure that is set up is proxy. And when the proxy is set up, we want to make sure that we have a HTTP cache set up. What we're going to do is we're going to add another volume, but a higher volume, and let's put it into our virtual drive there, and we're going to call it my virtual proxy. And in here we're going to say we're going to allow it to have 40 gigs of, it could be 40 gigs. Actually, you know what? Can I go in here and put my virtual proxy? Yeah, I like that. So anything that this virtual PC generates will be stored in my media drive. So I'm going to hit OK, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this volume, and this is going to be the running drive here, because here the license restriction allows only a maximum of one unpaused volume, so this will be the only active one. So right off the bat, we wanted to enable this because HTTP cache is going to be used for the proxy. We're going to have services here, and you're going to see that this proxy server right off the bat will have a conflict on this port 80. Now the reason why it didn't have a conflict now is because this proxy server is running as a service, and Apache did not run as a service. As you can see, the control planner is not running. So what we need to do is we need to right click here and do properties, and then let's see here. Do I change my ports? I'm going to change my ports right here, and I'm going to use 8080. Okay. And we do a stop, and then we're going to do a start. Okay, so the proxy server is running and is using port 8080. Now, what we want to do is go back into our firewall settings. Go into advanced settings here. And then we're going to do inbound. We're going to add a new rule. And then we're going to do a port. Next. 8080. Hit next. Allow the connections. And then here we're going to put Wingate Proxy. Proxy server, and hit finish. So now that that port is open, this services is running. Notifications is already sent to my email address. This is already set up and running, and I'm gonna use this virtual PC. You don't really want to do it on this virtual PC, but for the lack that I don't have another virtual box PC set up, I'm just going to show you here. But first, let me quickly explain the function of the proxy. So in my previous videos, I was showing you guys that I have this internet modem that has Ethernet ports, has a firewall, and it has the WAN towards the internet site and the LAN over to my network site. And because I have all these other pieces of equipment dependent on this internet connection, even my Wi-Fi personal, and I have, all my kids' mobile phones, their Xbox, their computers, and all that stuff running to the internet. The work that these guys are doing, I want to bottleneck the throughput, the amount of bandwidth that they're consuming for downloading videos and images for the purpose of doing work. And in order for me to do that, is I'm using this proxy server here, and every time this guy here this is just an example. Let's say the web crawler requests something from Facebook, it'll send a request to the proxy server, and if the proxy server does not have a matching file or for that request, it'll go on to Facebook and get it. So it could be as simple as a Facebook image. Now you got to keep in mind that even though I have a single piece of hardware running a web crawlers, I can have multiple applications accessing multiple websites, up to 5 at any given time. So if any of those websites have, let's say, a link associated with Facebook, and it's the Facebook icon the same, like maybe they subscribe to their Facebook widget or snippet in their blogs or whatever, that image file is going to be downloaded every time I request that, even though the web crawler, if let's say I have 5 web crawler applications running at the same time, it's going to be downloaded. So to prevent it to be downloaded from the internet, what the single request, the first request goes to this guy. If he doesn't have it, the proxy server will download it from Facebook. If there are any if there's any more requests of the same image file from the other web crawlers, it'll send a request to this proxy server, and the proxy server, I already have that, here you go, and sends it back right through the LAN. So it doesn't send a request to the internet. So all that overhead, the control overhead, and the packets that go through the network to get that file is no longer needed, because it's already been retrieved. So that's the purpose of the proxy, and that's the purpose why we set up an HTTP cache at 40 gigs, right? So as the web crawlers are crawling, and these requests are being sent, and if it's the same image, it could be the same videos, it could be same, similar images that everybody subscribed to. Let's say something important that came out, and they're all maybe it's a news outlet, right? And they're using the same Getty image. It'll download that image. So that's the whole purpose of that proxy, and the reason why I set up that proxy. And that's the function of that server, application server. Same thing goes if I have scripts running across all the 3 servers at the same time, and they're accessing the same thing. All these 3 servers are designed to access that particular proxy. So going back here, when you go in here, you'll see when we go to Wingate's, the more notifications, Wingate's available. Okay, we already did that. I'll do the updates later. Where was I? Services here. I used it to port 80. How will I configure the other applications? So in Windows, there's an option in Internet Explorer, or in this case here, Edge Explorer, Microsoft Edge. But you could also type in here Internet Options, and this allows you to go into the connections here, and here says local area network settings, and this is where you will go in and define the use of a proxy server. So in my case here, I will put the IP address of this guy here. So if I go in here and I say ipconfig, oops, you can see the IP address there, this right here. I will put it in here, 10.0.2.15. And then the port will be port 80, because we set it up in here as port 80. You could also use the advanced features, where if you want to specify different ones, but for now is use the same proxy server for all protocols. And then of course, if you have a local web page that you got people using, you may want to bypass that if they use local addresses. So, but I don't want this to go in sequence. So that's how you will set up Windows. Linux, I'm not 100% sure, but there is a way to set that up as well. So again, that's the easy way. Again, a proxy server, bottlenecking your request to the internet using a proxy server from all your servers that you're running to do your data collection, and then hopefully it doesn't consume all your bandwidth, especially your download and upload. More so your upload, because your upload is a lot less than your downloads. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. If you guys want a video to have a better understanding how a proxy serves a request from a requester, and then how it goes fetches it and all that stuff, and how the internals work, let me know. Make a comment in my blog. Any other concerns, questions, issues that you may have encountered, go to my blog, make the questions over there. I don't necessarily answer any questions or address any comments in the video in YouTube. So please go over there and use my blog. Thank you so much. With that, I believe we have officially concluded the data collections of the web services, and we are going to move on into other things and how we collect our data. Thank you.